Jay here, Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and it's mild, but it's spitting, get them in. And I've got my parker on the floor, in case you're wondering. We'll get into it anyway. Let's see what the latest news is, featuring Manchester United. There's a couple of stories doing the rounds this morning. First of all, I'm just going to look at some of the youngsters that are going to be, could be featured in the first team soon. There's a couple of stories about that. There's also a story regarding Erik Ten Hag and the powers that be, shall we say, and they could be set for a bit of a clash this January. It seems that Erik Ten Hag, John Murtaugh, Joel Glazer, perhaps are not on the same page on what needs to be done in January. So we'll get into that. There's a piece in The Athletic. I'll explain what I'm on about. And we'll also look at United being linked with a Brazilian midfielder, because where would we be without links to Brazilians or midfielders for that matter? So we'll get into all that. First of all, story in the evening news doing the rounds over the weekend about Ten Hag promotes teen, United teen. It's talking about Charlie Savage training with the first team. Now this comes on the back of another story about, there's a wasp there. Hello. Why do these wasps always attack me? Leave me alone. Right, anyway, I'm just going to carry on and hopefully it'll go away. No, it's not. Where's it going? Has it gone? Right, anyway, as I was saying, I'm talking about Zidane Iqbal, wasn't I? Yeah. Where are you going? Producer Ethan's ran off now as well. It's all happening now. We're being terrorised by a wasp. Doesn't bode well for our hooliganism reputation. Anyway, yeah, Zidane Iqbal has been left out of the latest Iraqi squad, apparently because he's going to focus on his Manchester United career. He is on the, career, that sounds a bit sort of, grandiose, doesn't it? He's focusing on his time at United at the minute. It's not like he's turning his back on his country or anything like that. It seems here that this is a story in the evening news. It says it's been confirmed that he's been left out of the squad for the Jordan International Tournament later this month, as he wants to focus on his personal development at Old Trafford. The 19-year-old has been included in the Europa League B list this season, meaning an opportunity for him to play first team football could present itself at some point this season. So we saw what Savage and Iqbal did in the pre-season. Fantastic performances from both of them. Loved what I saw so far. I don't want to say one or the other, really. They're both doing really well. You know what they bring to the team. Yes, they're very young, but if they do get opportunities in the Europa, it'd be a good sort of opportunity for them, or a good sort of first stage of their career for them to get some game time in the Europa and then build on that, and hopefully maybe they can feature in the League Cup or some of the cup competitions. We'll have to wait and see. There was talk one that maybe they go on loan, but at the moment it looks like they're staying at Manchester United, and they could be given some opportunities by Erik Ten Hag, who isn't shy of giving youngsters a chance, is he? So we'll see what happens there, but two very talented young players. Now, on to other matters. This is a story doing the rounds based on an article in The Athletic. I think it was by Laurie Whitwell. It was part of an Ornstein article where Laurie Whitwell's weighed in. And other papers have picked this up. The Mirror have got it as well. And this says that Ten Hag eyes January signings, but Manchester United focused on the summer. Now, Ten Hag had said recently, we have many meetings about himself and the hierarchy. We have to improve the structures in and around the club, and we will also look to the window in January or next summer already. Now, that would hint that there's going to be some January signings. However, it seems that might not be the case, that the board and the Glazers or whoever aren't too keen on making any January signings. Now, we know United went big in the summer. We spent 200 odd million quid or whatever it was, brought in the likes of Casemiro, Antony, Martinez, obviously Malacia and Ericsson were a bit of a snip, as was the Bradfield, but we bought in a few big name players, spent quite a bit of money, and then people are looking at it going, well, that could be your budget for the January gone as well. We spoke to James Ducker and from the Telegraph. We also had the Disco Dave McDonald from the Mirror on the channel over the last couple of weeks, and they were sort of making similar noises that the chances of United doing business in the January, look pretty slim because of the money we've spent in January. Well, that annoys me a little bit. Not what they've said, not their fault, but the fact that we can't spend in January if we need to. Manchester United have got money. Well, I know we're in debt and all this other stuff because the Glazers have saddled us with all this debt and they keep taking all this money out of the club. But if we wanted to... Oh, this wasp is back, man. If we wanted to make signings, we could make signings. We can always get money for signings. We've got money for dividends. We've got money for these debts. A club the size of Manchester United can always find ways to make signings. And also, we should always be able to do it. I don't buy into this idea that, well, because we've spent loads of money, we can't keep spending money. Look at where we are. Look at the position we found ourselves in last season. Now, we've had 4 good games in the league with, 4 wins on the spot because in no small measure because of the signings that Erik ten Hag's made and the way that they've fitted into this squad. So if he feels we need to go again in January, if we need to bring 1 or 2 players in January, then we should be able to do that. And it's a little bit frustrating that, you know, according to this article by Laurie, it says owner Joe Glazer, chief executive Richard Arnold and football director John Murtagh are focused firmly on summer 2023 as the next opportunity to significantly add to Ten Hag's squad. Why? If we need a player in January, we should be able to go out and get one. Let's not forget, we bought players in January in the past when you could say our squad looked pretty decent. We've gone out and we've got, you know, the likes of, I don't know, Patrice Evra and Nemanja Vidic. And they did all right, didn't they? So it annoys me a little bit. I don't buy into this idea at all. We've spent loads of money, we can't spend any more. It's a nonsense. On that front as well, there's rumours that we've been linked with a player from Brazil. Now, this is a kid called João Gomes. He's a 21-year-old. According to Calcio Mercato over in Italy, I think that's an Italian publication, United have set their sights on signing him. He's having a good spell in Brazil. The sort of fly in the ointment, if you will, or the wasp in the ointment, is that Liverpool are in for him as well. He's a sort of a defensive midfielder, I think, or midfielder. United looking at him, Liverpool looking at him. He could be available in January. I think his contract runs out in 2023, so there could be something there. Or no, sorry, I think his contract runs out in 3 years, sorry. But he has turned down the opportunity of an extension. Could be something there. Going toe-to-toe with Liverpool in January, after the story we've just heard from Riley Whitwell as well, seems unlikely for any player, let alone a pretty unproven player. No disrespect to the Brazilian league, but it's a totally different ball game coming to Europe and coming to England in particular. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. We'll keep you posted on whether we do go in for João Gomes, whether we do see the likes of Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage playing in the first team. I'm sure you'll find that out, but we'll tell you anyway. And also what is happening in January. If we hear any more stories, reports, whatever, about Manchester United going for anyone in the January transfer market, regardless of whether there's this sort of clash going on between Erik ten Hag and the Glazers and the board, we will keep you posted on all those things. So make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Go and check out the merchandise as well on paddockmerch.com. I'll be J Motty outside. A pretty rainy now, drizzly Old Trafford. And a wasp-free one, finally. Thanks for watching.